Hey, what's up? Do you have a small business and you want to know about success and victory and glory and money and all the things? That's what we're going to talk about. So I'm still going through questions I get. These are 10 success questions I get that are common. It's funny because when you're running a business that you feel like you're all by yourself and you're like wrestling with things, what you're feeling is so universal, more than you know. So the 10 questions we're going to go through, I think some of them are going to get you in the feels and they're going to help you, right? So question number one is, when should I look to start adding multiple streams of income? So if you're a struggling business owner, or even if you're a successful business owner, you get sucked down the TikTok rabbit hole of Gary Vee and all these people saying,
multiple streams of income, 14 streams of income, 7 forms of income.
Here's the reality, man, is you don't need that. Okay, most people get rich doing one thing really well over an extended time horizon. They hammer a single nail into the board, then they get rich. Now, what do they do when they get rich? They buy assets. And what happens when you have a bunch of assets? You get multiple streams of income. So don't do it backwards. Don't get twisted because you're going to divide your focus before you have real legs under your company and you won't make a lot of money. Russell Brunson told me a story one time. He did $3 million in a year with one of his online businesses. This is years ago before ClickFunnels. And he said, Josh, he said,
I got really excited because that was like amazing.
So the next year, he launched 13 different offers on the internet. 13 in 1 year. It might have been 14. It was like a lot. It was more than 12. He launched them, and then after that year went by and the dust cleared, he's like exhausted, he made $3 million total, collectively, across all of them. And that's really just a testament to the power of focus, right? Like a magnifying glass when you're trying to burn the little anthill when you're a kid. That's what we need. So multiple streams of income, super cool, but I think you can get distracted. Question number two, how should I invest my extra cash? Honestly, I'm not a financial advisor, but I have strong opinions, so here we go. You should invest your cash back into your business. If you actually paper out the math, it is almost impossible. If you have a functioning, healthy business and you have the right pieces in place, it's almost impossible to get a higher return on your investment than plowing capital back into scale of your business. Now, if your business is all jacked up and it's funky, don't worry about that yet. Save your money. Let's fix your business. Let's get your marketing on point, get higher prices, increase your frequency, 10x your referrals. Let's create more profits. Let's double your EBITDA and your owner's cash flow. Let's do all that stuff. And once you have a machine built, you're going to kick off extra cash. It's going to happen. And I see people get so stressed out because they have like $15,000 in credit cards or something. And I know the weight of it because I lived it. But what they don't see that I see, that I've helped hundreds of people do, is that in 1 week, they can make that go away. In 1 week, after they optimize some things and move some things around, in 1 day, it can go away. And your financial world can change so fast when you understand marketing and systems and some of the things we talk about in this channel. It's a big deal. So you should invest your extra cash in your business, assuming it's working, or save it, get the business working so that you can invest it into your business. Question number three is, how do I get my wife to better support my business? Your wife, right? Happy wife, happy life. First of all, be a better leader, be a better communicator. Learn how to cast clear vision to your spouse. If you're if you're a true entrepreneur personality type, chances are you live in the future. You daydream. That's what I do, and a lot of people do, because we can see the future before it happens. We can see it and taste it and smell it, and to us, it's real. It's real. You can see how the company is going to scale to here, and then you can get this rental property, and you can do this, and you're going to take your wife to Venice, and you're going to go to Hawaii, and you can see it in your brain. But the people around you, they don't see anything. They just see you stressing out, running out the door when it's early and coming back when it's dark. And so it's part of the game here is communicating back to your family the little wins, celebrating the micro wins, and then reminding them and reselling them on the vision of why it's going to be worth it for the family in general. You know, the way to get your wife on board is to get her to trust you. And so the other part to this is actually producing results. If you're one of these people that just bounces from opportunity to opportunity and you're never actually killing something and dragging it home, if you're never making it rain, you're never going deep enough on one thing and overcoming your own fears to actually get a win, right? If that's not happening, how long is your wife supposed to blindly just follow you without being a little bit unsettled? It seems unreasonable to me that they should follow you in perpetuity if there's no evidence of success. I think they should in the beginning. I think it's a wife's role to honor and hold up and support and be a helpmate to her husband, and that is a gift to you. But if you're 3-5 years deep and you're still poor and you're not doing the things that you already know to do to be successful, then that's on you. So hopefully that didn't hurt your feelings, but it's true. How do I get motivated? Motivating is not something I think you should really try to get. I think motivation is a very limited, fleeting, finite resource. I think it feels good to be motivated. I like listening to motivating things. I like watching the movie Braveheart, then I feel motivated. I like watching Rocky Balboa like I did with my kids last week. It's amazing introducing them to all these classic movies that are amazing. But motivation is not how high achievers become high achievers. They become high achievers through discipline, right? Discipline, and through systematic execution of a formula. That's how it works. Making lots of money, technically speaking, is kind of boring. Doing a startup, not boring. Lots of crazy fires to put out, chaos, constant change. But as something starts to mature and stabilize, it gets kind of boring. And if you keep your eye on the ball, you'll make a fortune. So when the question is, how do you get motivated? You need to be consistent. You don't need to be motivated. And the way to be consistent is to make sure that you know exactly what you want in the first place and ask yourself, is this worth it? So for me personally, I'm truly not seeking my own happiness per se and doing my entrepreneur stuff. I have a mission, a mandate, a purpose, and a destiny. And either I'm delusional or God gave me this purpose and this mission and this mandate and this destiny, right? I believe He did. And I'm trying to trade my life doing the very best I can to give myself a chance to achieve that thing. Regardless of my own happiness or my own motivation, I feel destined and called to do it. So if you don't have that sense of destiny, what I encourage you to do is ask yourself, what is your purpose? What is your function? What were you handcrafted to do on this earth? Because if you don't know your purpose is to find your purpose. Because I promise you that you have one. And once you find it, motivation becomes less important because you know that no matter how hard it is, it's going to be worth it. You know what you're here to do on this planet, and you will just go do it, and it's going to work, and you'll have more success. Next question. What's your number one tip for making money? Be louder. Make more offers. The only way anybody makes money ever is when a qualified prospect hears about your stuff and they buy or don't buy. So when a qualified prospect hears your stuff and they buy, then you make money. So how do you make more money? You make way more offers to way more qualified prospects. Is it oversimplification? Yes. Is it 100% true? Yes, it's 100% true. You got to be noisier. You got to like bang pots and pans and go out in the street corner and like talk to people.
Hi.
Okay. Go to the town square, go on the internet, make a blog post, take a risk, make a video, go live, make a joint venture connection, do something. Be excited and do something, and money automatically will happen to you. Okay, how can I go about raising my prices? The best way to raise your prices is to just raise your prices. People make this huge hoopla about raising the prices.
Oh, I gotta prepare a 3-part letter to certified mail to my customers because I'm a maid service and it's gonna go up 7%.
Okay, and they're like apologizing to their customers. They're doing it all backwards, right? Here's a couple practical tips on raising your prices. The easiest way to do it is to just do it because 8 out of 10 people won't even say anything or notice because they don't care. And then the 2, you just explained, hey, costs are going up, we had to bump it a little bit. And that's it, and you're fine. If someone does quit, good, let them go. It doesn't matter. You're gonna make more profit and you have to do this. It's way more risky to not raise your prices than it is to raise your prices for a whole bunch of reasons. But practically speaking, if you're gonna do a major price increase, here's my tip. Number 1, raise it far enough to not have to do it all the time. So raise it to where you need it to be plus a little bit extra. Go a little bit further. So if you're scared to raise it to where they need to be, I'm telling you, if we're doing this anyway, raise it even more than that, and then we figure out how to justify the value. Because that will become your new normal. You're gonna have more cash flow, you can pay your staff more, it's gonna change your business for the better. But what you can do is you can announce it to your customers, but you want to announce it as a positive, hey, we have great news type of thing.
Hey, we have great news. We're providing new levels of service. We just added a 5th-star certification to our whole cleaning program. Our rates for next year are going up 30%, but because you're a current customer, they're only going to go up 20%.
Something to that effect, right? So this is choreography. It's marketing. And yeah, some people will leave. It doesn't really matter though. It really doesn't. What matters is that your business works. And small business owners eat last, but you got to eat at some point. So you need to raise your prices. Okay, next one. How do I get more commercial high-ticket jobs? I call this whale fishing. If you do a bunch of cleaning and you do a bunch of service and whatever, and your average job's with a couple $1,000 bucks, why don't we go get a job that's worth $200,000, one job? You know, we landed a contract with General Motors years ago that was worth over $300,000 a year. And I sold my company years ago. We're still doing it all these years. It's worth millions of dollars, one whale. Whale fishing is a big deal. So how do you get them? Well, you build a system for it. You get organized with it. It's pretty simple. I'll tell you exactly what I did in less than 60 seconds. Number one, you data mine all the information. Meaning I had a list with lots of tabs on a spreadsheet of all the assisted living homes in my market, all the dentist offices, all the chiropractors offices, all the auto dealerships, all the industrial facilities, all the retail stores, all the whatever. There's a lot of them. And I had the name of the business, the website of the business, the phone number of the business. Then I had the address of the business. Then I had the email of the general manager or who I figured was the decision maker of the business. And I do this by going on the internet and stalking people, right? You look at the LinkedIn, you do this, you click on the site, you scroll to the bottom, you click About Us, and you're figuring it out. This is a lot of work. But after you have the list, then it's easy. What you're going to do when you have the list is you're going to just reach out to these people and give them quotes that they did not ask for. Hey, I do pest control. I noticed that your business over here next to my favorite restaurant, you know, I can do all your pest control for this price. You can put that in a letter, you can drop it off, you can send them a PDF, you can call them and tell them, it doesn't matter, but it's called an unsolicited bid. And if you want to make millions and millions in commercial, this is the way to start to do it. That's super simple. There's no excuse to not do it. It always works, but it has a longer time horizon, and you got to have enough volume of it. You follow up every 6 to 8 weeks until they tell you to go pound sand, and then you leave them alone for a couple months. Then you still follow up just to make sure they were sure that they told you to pound sand. The more relentless you are, the more money you'll make. How do I sell my business for maximum money? Have maximum profit. That's the answer. The less involved you have to be in the business and the more cash flow the business creates, the more it's worth. You know, and without having a whole video about how multiples are calculated with service companies, which would be a whole video by itself, you want profit to be the game, right? Revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity. So you want lots of profit and you don't want to have to touch it. If you think about it, building a business is like creating a magical, mythical box that creates money without you touching it. That's kind of like the goal, right? It's not that you are lazy and you don't want to work, but you're like this architect, engineer of this box, and it's got like humans and employees and internal customers, and it has numbers and math, and it has angry people, and then it has a government and taxes and insurance and lawsuits. There's like this complexity. And how do you get the box where it's bumping around and money's coming and you're not touching it? You know, like a kid riding his bike with no hands, look, Mom, what I can do. The less you're touching it and the more cash it produces, the more it's worth. Okay, which industries will be most hurt by the coming recession? I don't know, but I do know that with local businesses, some things that are for sale are have-to-haves and some are nice-to-haves. And the nice to haves are going to have a harder time than the have to haves, right? Cleaning is pretty recession resistant. Doesn't mean it's recession proof, especially if you're selling cleaning to broke people. So if you are selling your stuff to affluent people and it's a have to have, not a nice to have, you're going to be fine. In fact, you're going to want to prepare yourself to start buying all of your competitors who are going to panic and overreact. And you can buy all their websites, phone numbers, and client lists and everything for pennies on the dollar. It'll be a good thing. But if you're like in the epoxy garage floor coating space, for example, I'm a little nervous for that specific industry just because it's a one-time sale. There's no continuity or reoccurring. It's definitely a nice to have, not a have to have. Now, it does target affluent people, which is good. But there's also a gajillion people getting into that business. So I think 3 to 4 years ago, it was kind of this gold rush kind of opportunity. Lots of people doing floor coatings now. I would be nervous about that one or any kind of similar business like that. What would you do differently if you had to start over? This is the last question. What would I do differently? I'll tell you. I would have went faster. I would have made decisions quicker and trusted myself more. I'm a quote junkie, and here's a good one for you. Never meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes. What happens sometimes, even people that watch I have like 7 subscribers, okay? I'm not a social media influencer, but I have worked with thousands of people over the last decade. But sometimes people see my stuff on the internet and I meet them in real life, they're like all nervous and stuff. It's so silly because I am painfully average at everything, except for a few things that I'm a big nerd about, right? And so what does never meet your heroes mean? What it means is that the people that you think that are crushing it, you think you're so far away and so different from someone you look up to, and you're just not. You're not. You might be 3 skills and 5 breakthroughs away from being the same thing as them. You know, everybody puts their pants on the same way. Nobody's that cool. It's all marketing, wink, wink. And you have what it takes right now. You just don't know it. right? So when I'm working with people, I look at them, all I see is the talent. I see the possibility. I'm like, oh, you got the goods. But you don't think that you do. And so everything takes longer than it needs to. So if I could go back with my brain right now, I would have built my business so much bigger, so much faster. By doing the same things, I wouldn't be stressed out about it, questioning if I had what it takes, because I promise you that you do. And if I would have known that, it would have been so much easier. Hey, thank you for hanging out with me. What's your question? Maybe I'll make more of these. Type it in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you watched, click the video on the left to watch the previous upload. And if you want one of my personal favorites, click the video on the right. And of course, don't forget to hit the middle to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for being on this journey with me.